Hi, my name is Mel Giannone, President and Broker of Record here at Paramount Real Estate Properties, headquartered in the Greater Toronto Area. We specialize in the exclusive representation of tenant occupiers and investors of commercial property. And you're someone in my marketplace I'd like to do business with. You can check us out by clicking the link to our latest real estate podcast called CRE Next, Work Out Loud, where we share helpful insights on commercial real estate matters affecting you and your business. When did I start offering passive investing in real estate to my clients? So that's a great question. That actually happened back in 2021 coming out of the healthcare crisis. So everything was in lockdown. The genesis of that idea actually came from my clients. So at the time, they weren't getting any respect, I guess, from the government as everything was being locked down. They were getting no aid. And at the same time, the landlords weren't giving them access to their own buildings where their operations were held, whether that's in an office building or an industrial multi-tenanted facility. So they came to me and said, hey, Mel, the interest rates are low. Why don't we go out and buy real estate in the hopes that we can gain better control of our own business operations and have more autonomy and not really having to succumb to what the landlord's rules are or even the government's rules are. They're hoping to just keep having their businesses going in the background. So for them, it was a way to sort of gain back control. And I got to thinking, this is a great opportunity because there might be others out there that are looking to do that. So if I can pool together people's funds, that would be a great opportunity to have an investment program that I can also extend as part of my brokerage services to my clients. So here's the gist of it. As you know, that the government and the Bank of Canada typically has a target for inflation. That inflation is going to erode your purchasing power, our standard of living to some extent, but it's targeted at 2 or 3%. Real estate as an investment tends to appreciate at a rate of about 8% over the last 10, 15 years on average. So if you take 8% minus the 2 or 3 target inflation, you're still netting ahead positive about 5% as an asset class. Now, most people choose to take their money and put it in stocks for dividends, right? You get spit back a return. But we all know that the money is made when you have an appreciation in the case of stocks, if the stock value goes up, or in real estate as the property value goes up. And the more inflation there is, the more the value of real estate nominally will go up. So we're preserving your wealth in that sense. So that is the gist of it. But here, if I can share a little story with you, I'll tell you where I had my first aha moment where having skin in the game, that is to say to own real estate, will actually create wealth for you over time. So as I got into the business back in 1993, I was hoping to land a job with a developer. But at the time, we were going through a commercial real estate and residential real estate bubble bust. So things weren't so good in terms of the prospects of getting a job. But I landed myself at a brokerage company, and that's how I sort of got into sales. And on my first listing pitch for a really prominent developer in the city, I was fortunate enough to be on a team of senior guys. And I thought, okay, here I am in my blazer and my white dress shirt going to work. And I thought, okay, we're going to practice on this pitch and how fortunate I am to be on this senior team. And so the lead, he asked me, hey, look, why don't we practice on this pitch together? Come over to my house. Okay, now I'm getting to the point, but come on over to my house and we'll practice on this pitch. So I go over to this house and I drive up, and it's in this beautiful, mature neighborhood. You can tell that there was wealth there, tree-lined streets, beautiful landscaped front yards and gardens. And so I roll up to this gentleman's house and I ring the doorbell, and I'm dressed up in my blazer and my white corporate shirt and tie. And he comes out pretty relaxed. And I thought, well, this is a switch, Are we going to go out for a coffee or something? But he said, you know what, come around the back and we'll practice on our strategy back there. And I thought, okay. So I go around the back of this gentleman's house, and it was a beautiful house on about an acre of land or so. And as I make my way around the back, you see these towering pine trees and birds, blue jays and cardinals, flying about, squirrels sort of, rustling in the trees and stuff. And there's this beautiful pool with a nice deck and chaise lounge chairs everywhere. And as I come around, I pan around and I look back at the house, and I see he has a back split. So all the offices were on the ground floor. He had his own offices, even though we had an office tower with offices. He had his own office that he shared with his wife. And he comes out and he's pulling these nice sliding window doors open, and the offices open up to the backyard. And I thought, wow, this guy has it all. So I asked him, I said, did all of this pretty much come about from being in commercial real estate brokerage? And he said, in part. He goes, but the bulk of that is coming from commercial real estate investing in myself and my wife. And I thought, so how did it sort of benefit from you? So he goes, look, as much as I can guide others in transactions, but reinvesting and having skin in the game is actually what put us ahead, far, far ahead. And so it allowed me to be more of a sovereign business. And what he meant by that was that he was able to do business right here in his house and being able to do it under the environment that he wishes to do it in, not necessarily confined in a boardroom in an office tower, which was all fine and good. We were just practicing, but we were practicing on the deck in a chaise lounge chair with his offices behind him. And I thought this is a great setup. But the whole point being is that he also wanted to control his own life, doing business sort of with who he wanted, when he wanted, in the environment that he wanted. And I thought, that is the moment where real estate could be the differentiator in helping people gain wealth. So that is the idea behind it. So even though 2021 is when I started it with the help of my clients, the actual genesis of the idea goes beyond that 30 years ago. So that's how I got into real estate investing and offering that as a program where if you don't have the access to the deals or you don't have the network of people or you don't have the experience or the time, you can plug in with us and we give you a passive investing opportunity where we invest in properties for decent returns. And if you wanted to, we can go over just through some of the projections that we have on some of the projects, and I'd be happy to guide you through. But that's pretty much how I would answer that question. It's gaining back that sovereignty of wealth so that you can control your own outcomes.